is the incredible abuse of electronic surveillance equipment, recording equipment by Britney's security team. Edan Yemeni, who runs this company called Black Box Security, seems to be running amok, basically. He's putting recording devices inside Britney's bedroom. They have devised a way of tracking everything on an iPad so they can see every text she's sending, basically everything that she's communicating to other people, I guess, aside from the actual content of phone calls. But the dam breaks when Edan's assistant, Alex, comes forward and talks to you and reveals these things and, in fact, says, I kept a copy of those recordings that Edan made in her bedroom. Can you talk a bit about how this is just a whole nother level of intrusion in Britney's life, and if there have been any consequences for it?
Britney's lawyer, Matthew Rosengart, in his statement for the documentary said these allegations represent like a shocking violation of Britney's civil liberties, which I think was well put. We were expecting them. I mean, when Alex came to us with this material, we obviously took corroboration and substantiation incredibly serious and had meetings with Dean Baquet, the head of the New York Times, about how to vet this, because these are really shocking, potentially criminal allegations. So we dove right into that and meticulously corroborated these allegations. So listen to the tapes, talk to the people on the other side of these text messages to verify that they were true and they'd never given anyone permission to intercept these text messages in real time. It was a real wild card when we had to go to Jamie and Black Box with these allegations and say, do you dispute them? Or what is your comment? I think it was actually when we were at the Emmys last year that we were waiting to hear back from them. And I remember just being so stressed out. And they came back not with any denials, but instead just said everything we did was legal. Either the court approved or Britney consented, and Jamie is proud of his work and Black Box is proud of their work, keeping Britney safe. It's almost a year later from the first doc, and Britney's lawyer is just now having a deadline to depose Jamie and get him to answer these allegations under oath. Nothing has really happened. To our understanding, law enforcement has not investigated these claims. And to me, that's really surprising because I think they are really serious allegations of invasion of privacy that if they can happen to Britney Spears, one of the most famous people on this planet, what does that mean for other clients of Black Box and other vulnerable people out there?
Yeah, and I think something that really stood out to us looking at the screenshots of text messages. So Alex said that sometimes Edan, his boss at Black Box Security, would ask him to screenshot certain text messages because they were mirroring her iPhone using an iCloud account. And they were taking screenshots from certain people to send them to Jamie Spears. And also, strangely, Robin Greenhill, who works for TriStar, Britney's business manager, which are the people in charge of the money, who aren't usually given access to her private text messages that could include medical information, et cetera. And something that stood out to us was one of the things that Alex was screenshotting were communications with her lawyer, her court-appointed attorney, Sam Ingham. There's attorney-client privilege, and that was written in court documents when it first started, that she was allowed to speak with him privately, her lawyer. And so the question is, why were those screenshots? There were screenshots of text messages with her mother, with her best friends from home, when, the dates on those audio recordings are right before a court investigator comes to speak to Britney in 2016, days before. And we have a lot of questions about why they were monitoring her in that way.
There's another character here, an important character that's sort of off screen, and that's the courts. And I can just simply not understand what this judge or these judges were thinking. Here's a person who's clearly one of the most productive members of society under conservatorship and continued for 13, 14 years. There's some discussion that the attorney that she couldn't hire says, maybe there's something in those documents we don't know about. We just don't know what we don't know. But what could courts possibly be thinking? Do you have any insight into this judge or judges, and how do they justify this?
I think it is really important to own we don't know what we don't know. And many of these records are sealed. But given that, and even allowing for that, I think that Britney's case raises serious questions about the legal system and the way that the probate court acted. For the second documentary, we obtained sealed transcripts from a closed-door court hearing in 2014, where Britney's court-appointed lawyer, Sam Ingham, tells the judge, Britney is unhappy with the conservatorship. She wants to retire. She wants to have kids. She wants to do this and that. And she feels the conservatorship doesn't let her do that. And the judge makes a wisecrack. I don't think I remember that we took away her right to get married, but you may not want to tell her that. And I think that illuminates just the tone and the way that they viewed a conservatee who is by definition, once you're deemed a conservatee, you're a vulnerable person who the entire probate structure is designed around serving your best interests and trying to help you regain your independence and get out of the conservatorship. And I think that response did not meet that criteria. The second thing that happened in that sealed transcript was Britney's then lawyer also said that Britney thinks Jamie, her father and conservator, has been drinking, and she wants him randomly tested for alcohol. And we know that Jamie seriously struggled with alcohol throughout his life. He'd gone to rehab a few years before the conservatorship. And it also seems the judge does not take this complaint or potential problem seriously. I think she says something like, who is Britney to be demanding that of anyone to take randomly scheduled alcohol tests? And that was another kind of shocking moment that when we took that to experts, they all said, whoa, that was really alarming.
Another theme